WRAL investigates. Watch and expect answers.
A woman driving home from work, a normal sight any day of the week. Tonight, WRAL investigates life and death questions about why this woman is still behind the wheel of a car. A woman with more drunk driving convictions than the times many of us have even been pulled over.
Tonight, her daughter wants to know why the mother is still behind the wheel and what can be done to get that mother off the road before someone is seriously hurt or possibly killed. WRAL investigates. Cullen Browder is here now with a major development in this case just today. Cullen?
David and Deborah, with all of her drunk driving arrests, this woman had never been charged with felony habitual DWI. After we started asking questions, it happened today. In the past 15 years, she has been convicted 8 times of DWI, 4 times in Wake County, once each in Durham, Granville, Franklin, and Edgecombe counties. Yet records show during that time she only spent a total of 24 months in the state prison system, something her daughter cannot understand. The face of a repeat drunk driver. Since 2001, court records show Penny Seagroves has 8 DWI convictions.
I honestly really do believe that she is dangerous to the society, to the community.
Faye Lopez is Penny Seagroves' daughter. She reached out to WRAL Investigates after Seagroves was charged with drunk driving again earlier this year in Wake County.
It's an endless battle. She never wants to stop, and I don't think she's ever going to stop until she takes her own life or until she takes somebody else's, honestly.
We first investigated Seagroves more than 5 years ago when the state rolled out a new program that gave police officers roadside access to more court records. During a traffic stop, the officers found Seagroves was wanted in 4 different counties for 5 drunk driving charges.
She would move us from house to house to house to actually avoid being arrested. She would go under different aliases all the time.
Seagroves was charged and convicted of DWI back in 2013, 3 years after our first story. Records show she was charged again in February with a blood alcohol content just above the state limit at 8:48 in the morning. Due to her previous DWIs, she didn't have a license. The car she was driving was seized.
I believe that stronger laws need to be enforced.
But that's still not stopping Seagroves from driving. We watched her get into a car and drive away from work earlier this month, though court records show she still doesn't have a license or special privileges to drive. Court records also reveal more than 50 prior charges of driving with a revoked license, driving a car that's not properly registered or insured. All were dismissed. When you hear a story like that, what's your reaction?
Well, it's heartbreaking, of course. And
Wake County State Representative Darren Jackson wants to strengthen the law on habitual DWI offenders.
The goal is to protect the public safety by getting her off the road, but also to get her the treatment that she needs.
But Jackson admits there's only so much law enforcement and the courts can do to make people follow the rules. He fears Seagroves' case could have a tragic ending.
When you see people who are doing this over and over and over again, it's just a matter of time before they kill someone.
Our camera rolled as Seagroves arrived at her Zebulon home this past week. My name's Cullen Browder. I'm with WRAL TV. You mind talking to us just for a moment? She declined our offer to tell her side of the story. I just want to give you every opportunity to talk to us. You don't want to talk?
Well, if people want to call me a rat, it's okay. But I'm saving somebody's life today.
For Lopez, alcohol abuse has already taken a toll on her family. She was arrested for DWI years ago and nearly died from drinking. Her sister is serving 9 years in prison for a drunk driving crash in Harnett County that killed a passenger in her car. Lopez hopes lawmakers, police, and court officials hear her story for the sake of the community and her mother.
If you could have a face-to-face conversation with your mother right now, what would you tell her?
Please stop. I love you. Stop drinking. Get help.
Now, based on Seagroves' record, we found she could have been prosecuted as a felon 6 times for habitual drunk driving, yet all of those convictions are misdemeanors. When we asked Wake County District Attorney Lauren Freeman why, she took another look at the case, and today a grand jury indicted Seagroves for habitual drunk driving. David.
And I know it's tough to keep people from behind the wheel anytime, but why did it take so long to charge her with habitual drunk driving?
It goes back to those aliases. In her 8 convictions, Seagroves was identified in court records by 7 different variations of her name. The Franklin County District Attorney's Office confirmed they missed that during that conviction back in 2013. A new computer system called CJ Leads helped connect the dots for law enforcement, but it's still being rolled out. If convicted of felony DWI, Seagroves could get about 2 years in prison this time.
And boy, this is something that it's just maddening for law enforcement as well.
It is, and I can tell you that there is now a warrant for her arrest.
From behind the wheel to in front of the judge, the focus of a WRAL investigation appeared in court today on felony DWI charges. Hello, I'm David Crabtree.
And I'm Deborah Morgan. Less than an hour after our story about Penny Seagroves aired, she was arrested. WRAL's Cullen Browder is here with the decision to finally charge a Wake County woman as a habitual drunk driver. Cullen?
That's right, Deborah and David. Just 24 hours ago, we profiled Penny Seagroves. Over the past 15 years, she's racked up 8 DWI convictions, but all were misdemeanors. Following another misdemeanor DWI arrest earlier this year, we started asking why those charges weren't more serious. Well, within an hour of our story last night, Penny Seagroves was arrested again, this time as a habitual drunk driver, which is a felony. Seagroves covered her face as she made her initial appearance in court this afternoon. She was advised of the charge against her and given a court-appointed attorney. Now, for today's court appearance, Seagroves went by Penny Denise Seagroves, one of several aliases she's used over the years to avoid prosecution. Wake County District Attorney Lauren Freeman decided to go after more serious charges after we told her Seagroves was still driving despite having a permanently revoked license.
Given her long history of driving while impaired, and also the many times that she failed to appear. I mean, another thing that really came forward that we now know is that she intentionally, for years, moved from county to county to try to avoid having to face responsibility for these driving while impaired charges. So it's important for us from a public safety standpoint that she be taken back into custody.
Now, that felony charge allows a magistrate to set a much higher bond, $50,000, which could keep Seagroves in jail until her trial. She is scheduled to be back in court next Monday. Deborah.
Cullen, her daughter came to WRAL asking for help to get her mother off the road. Have you talked with her since the arrest?
I have. I talked to Faye Lopez just this afternoon. She says she's relieved and thankful that her mother is no longer driving. She just hopes now her mother can get some help while behind bars in the form of some intensive rehabilitation.
Cullen, thank you.